Hi there, Banta music followers. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the low G. When you hear top grade 2-in-1 bands and professional players, their low Gs are often tuned so that other embellishments like their D throws, Tor Lewis, and Cred Lewis and grips are all projected a little bit more. How do we get our chanters to sound like that? In order to get your chanter to give off a really good low G sound, you have to have the proper reed and you have to have the proper chanter. So the reed and the chanter in combination need to work well so that you can get this low G sound. So I'm going to play for you my low G and listen to what it sounds like on some D throws. Now listen to this one where I have tuned my low G a little bit flatter. Now you'll notice that the low G in both of those clips sounds a little bit different. I flattened my low G by at least half, so about half of the holes are covered. And when you flatten or sharpen your low G, you want to cover both sides of the holes. Let's see here. This side of the hole and that side of the hole. You want to cover both of them, and you want to keep the amount of tape on both sides as equal as possible. Now you may be asking if your chanter can get this low G sound at a pitch that's a little bit flatter than say 480, which is a very common pitch. And the answer is highly unlikely. Your low G will sound nice, but the emphasis that the low G gives on some of your embellishments may not be as emphasized if you do not tune your chanter to 480 or higher. Right now, my chanter is tuned at about 480 to 483. So my chanter is tuned in the ballpark range that the low G will be given, so that the low G can give the emphasis to the embellishments that I'm looking for. This is particularly important in P-Brock and marches where Tor Lewis and D throws are a little bit more common. I flattened off my low G even more, so listen to what it sounds like. So if you could hear the low G there, it sounded too flat and it didn't sound the greatest. And when I was playing the low G, the low Gs on the D throws, the low G sound was not that emphasized, and the crispness of the sound was also taken away because the note is too flat. So I'm going to sharpen it up again. And if you listen closely, you'll hear that there is quite a lot more emphasis on the D throws, and it'll sound a lot better. So the hole is covered up by about a quarter, maybe about 1/3. So it's sharper than it was before. So now I'm going to take all the tape off like I did before, and I want you to listen to what it sounds like. So if you're wondering if the chanter that you have and the reed are going to give the kind of low G that you hear from grade 1 bands and from this chanter, then you will need a chanter that is modern with a proper reed in it. You need to be able to ensure that the reed is giving off the proper projection and sound, and that the chanter is not too old. So if you're playing a chanter that's from the 1950s or before that, then the chances of you getting a nice low G like this is not going to be very high. It's going to be too flat because the chanter is not designed to project a pitch that you hear from this chanter and from other top level bands. One question that I've had from people ask me in the past is, can they get a nice low G sound out of a Blackwood chanter or a plastic chanter? Now the answer is that plastic chanter versus a Blackwood chanter are quite different. Blackwood chanters are, of course, wood. They breathe better than plastic chanters because of the material, and they will give a little bit more of a mellower sound, but the sound will be nice and crisp. A plastic chanter, like what many bands play, they will give a bigger, more projected sound, and bands look for volume. They look for crispness, they look for volume, and they want to ensure that all of their chanters are the same so that they pitch the same and they sound like one. So if you want to get a chanter that gives off a really nice low G sound, I recommend getting a Blackwood chanter like what this one is. They're typically more expensive than plastic ones. So right now the competitive season is getting going, so I'm busier, so I may not upload every single week right on the dot. Hence, this video is a couple of days over the common 1 week mark. So I will be going back and forth to play with Peel Police in Ontario because I'm in Vancouver. And I'll be doing that off and on throughout the summer, but I will keep working on my sound. And when I learn more stuff from working with my own pipes, like I've been doing the last couple of days, I will pass that on to you so that you can help bring your sound up higher and progress. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.